Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2025. New Year, new you. New Year, same me. It's Parquet. Gran Turismo 7 video. This was the last race slash session I did in 2024. So definitely ended the year off on an exciting foot, I guess. Sardinia, reverse, everybody's crashing everywhere. Coming into turn one here. Get a little bit of penalty action going on. Wasn't too happy about that.
I got a penalty for that? That's insane.
And from this moment forward, I can honestly kind of say the happiness levels didn't raise at all. It was all downhill from here. Coming to his little awkward right-hander here. The Ferrari gives me some room. He probably saw the Parquet NRL livery and was like, this guy must be fast, let me move out of the way. And coming into this other kind of awkward right-hander, I get it a little bit wrong. Go through Danny Phantom there, who went ghost. And Spice Muffin is able to take back P12 for me in the La Ferrara. But if you're watching this video, you probably know me pretty well. I'm definitely coming right back at him, trying to stick as close as I can through there. Even though I know I have a penalty, it doesn't really help. But, you know, it's sim racing, not sim driving. So I'm always down to race whenever I can. Boss Hoff definitely down to race whenever he can, making me look like I'm standing still. And I pull over to the right, try to exhibit some good sportsmanship, but nobody's behind me. Coming into the final turn, there's a battle heating up between Spice Muffin and the Argentinian that boils over, and I'm sure I can speak for Spice Muffin by saying,
Wow.
and I can't say I'm too much better than Gus the Argentinian there after pulling off this little maneuver.
Wow.
Drinking game for every time I say wow. Here I serve a penalty, which was a half-second penalty that I served more than half a second for. I would just like to point that out for the record. Polyphony Digital. Fix it. And Spice is able to take advantage and go around the outside on me. It was a nice move, I can't lie. Luckily I'm in this Genesis, which versus the Ferrari, it's not even really a conversation in terms of top speed, but this little moment here I try to lift off and it's kind of too late. Kablam. And I kind of broke one of my own rules there, and let's check in and see how I was feeling once more.
I feel bad. I broke my own rule. Oh.
So the rule I'm referring to is basically the distance that you give somebody a bump draft while going into a corner. I've seen, you know, both sides of the fence on this one, so let me know your thought and feeling on it in the comments below. Should you bump draft somebody, you know, close to a corner, or what is the maximum amount of distance before a corner that you give somebody before you bump draft them? Or, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to ask. Leave it in the comment below. Hopping into a practice session here, trying to get my time down a bit. I'm currently sitting at a 41.9. A little bit more about this session. This video is going to have 2 days worth of 3 races, over 2 days. This is day 1. The mental was not feeling too well after trying to bang my head up against these races. Bringing home a 41.7 at the end of this first practice lap, 47 at the second one, so gained a second there. And hopping into race 2, we're going to throw on the medium tires before the
Last race.
And I know I said that thing about the medium tires, but do you notice anything? I know I sure did, and again, I was a little bit grumpy. I wasn't too happy about it, and let's see what the onboard has to say.
I could have sworn I put medium tires on.
Now, what I didn't know is that it didn't really matter if I had soft, medium, hards, intermediates, or whatever on, because there was a weapon behind me that was locked onto me.
Wowzers.
2 shots for wowzers. So, moving ahead a little bit further into lap 1, I catch back up to the pack. The soft tires really helping me out here a bit. I'm behind our weapon there, Slow, who was not going slow. And check this little move out. Diving up the inside, starting in P13. Lots of drama, didn't touch anybody. And ultimately able to get 5 positions in 1 corner, or 2 depending on how you count it. After navigating that and getting to collect my thoughts a little bit, there was really only one thing I could say.
That was insane.
And all of that was just from lap 1. Now, at the beginning of lap 2, another of our favorite characters are going to make an appearance. Mr. Dirty Air.
Dirty Air is ridiculous.
Luckily, I'm able to navigate through that and immediately eyeing up a move on the beebs around the outside.
I was gonna fight it around there.
And I thought at this point things were looking up, you know. We lost a little bit of time to P4 there, so they're driving away, but me and Beebs were getting a bit of a rapport right before.
Oh!
And poof, just like that, there goes race 2. Now, at the time, you know, I actually didn't lose out that much. I'm still in P8, so what was that? Probably only lost like 1-2 positions, so it's not the end of the world. But again, with racing, the mental is so important, and after getting battered around this track all day, I had just kind of hit my line, and looks like Beebs hit their line there as well. Lap 3, they get a bump draft, Racer Dog. Imaginary Racer gets a bump draft from me. I'm a Chaos Agent, and I'm hoping that, you know, something happens. Surprisingly, we make it almost 4 wide through there with no deaths as we drive through the ghost there. And again, here we go. I end up another move around the outside. 4th and 5th place, getting a little bit of contact with each other. I get caught up in that, and Triple G is able to drive away as I get a 3-second penalty.
Whatever.
The onboards are hot in this one, right? So, got those 3 seconds weighing me down. If you can't do the crime, or if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Even though I didn't feel like I did a crime there necessarily. But Polyphony and Sophie AI thought differently. So, I get to the line, serve my time, and find myself in a nice little P8 right behind our friend from lap 1, Slow. Now, going down this main straight, we're in a drag race here, and I feel like I am alongside at this point, but our friend Slow begs to differ.
Whoa, brother!
I would have liked a little bit more room there, and I am going to blame that for me hitting the wall. There's no such thing as a skill issue on a parquet video, right? And that further descends me into madness. I hit Beebs in the back, I get a little bit of a wiggle.
Oh, here we go with this again.
I told you the session was going downhill. Finishing up the race, nothing really happened. I finished in a nice P off the screen again, and was left searching for answers.
Toto, when are the upgrades due? We need upgrades. We need the upgrade package pronto.
So after that whole experience, is what we'll call it, I decided day 2, let's start off in the livery editor. Livery's always worth a good 4 or 5 tenths. 2 tenths in this case. I was able to knock 2 tenths off of my qualifying time in the Ferrari, changing the car as well. And here we go, back into the fray again, race number 3. Before we get started on this, I just wanted to thank you for getting to this point in the video. I'm currently on the road to 50 subscribers. I want to be able to live stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. And I'd really appreciate it if you're not already. Get yourself, subscribed, like, comment. Let me know how you're doing. Hope you're doing better than me in this race, losing 2-3 positions going into T1. And again, things not getting much better. I give Leo a bit of a bump draft there. We're trying to navigate. This is not a very wide track by any means. 2 cars are barely fitting. And as a driver, you really kind of hate tracks like that where you don't really get a lot of racing space. But as a viewer or as a content consumer, you probably love it because you get to see a lot of crashes. And that's exactly why I put this race 3 final race of the session in. This is the race that broke the proverbial camel's back for me. I tried my hardest to keep having fun, and I had a little bit of fun here going up the inside on Family Rock, aka Jeff Gordon. I'm gonna call him Jeff Gordon the rest of the video. And I'm in P10, so happy days indeed. The 2 groups are forming. There's somebody serving a penalty ahead, so I know that should be a position for me. I'm on the shoes on the other foot this time. Whereas before I was losing almost a second, and now I gained about a second. And now the name of the game is, let's put some consistent laps in. I don't do a good job of that. Lap 2 here with fast forwarding. Cyrus, I don't know. Takes my position away, taps the Brazilian, and I get to pull off a bit of a Moses maneuver and go up the middle of both of them, get in my get back. Into P7, things are looking up. I feel like I'm cooking at this point. The BMW coming right back at me. They probably thought that was me that hit them. And you can see here everything is really heating up. We're in a 6-7 car race for P7. I'm looking down the inside here, trying to keep it tight, keep it nice. Give them a bit of a bump draft. They're going a little bit slow on the apex for my liking. I was a bit impatient, to be fair. But we're all alive. No deaths to report. Even though there I tried to kill him. And it was a little bit awkward right here because I knew I hit him. I wanted to give him the position back, but if you've seen any of my other content, I'm not very good at that. So I'm trying to do this weird half race, half let them know that like I'm not going to race you. But serious, stay back there. Don't try to pass me. And I think I do a pretty good job of it. Stay in P8. Don't lose out too much. The Brazilian gets his position back. All is well at this point. This Ferrari was really nice around this track. I think the handling was just something that suited my driving style. That's serious. Bumps the Brazilian out of the way. I'm sure they'll think that was me.
That wasn't me.
And just so race control knows, I had to make sure they knew that it was in fact not me. Now, one could argue that I was focused on the wrong things in this scenario because after getting through all of that, I pull off this move. And driving is a lot like real life. You never want to make the same mistake twice. But sometimes you do. You also don't want to make one mistake turn into 2. But that happened to me here. I do catch this little spin. It's my first time doing this. I wish I had the Fast and Furious music to put on right there. That's how I felt catching that. And sometimes 2 mistakes turn into 3. And everything descends into madness. I still get a nice little 360 no scope there. So all Call of Duty quick scopers get at me. And yeah, that's the end of the video. This will be my last one for 2024. I'll see y'all in 2025 on the bigger and better things. God bless you all. Have a great beginning, end of the year. I'm going for a ranking January 2025. Let's get it. Peace.